Welcome back. Let's dive right into the deep end. Attorney General Bob Ferguson announced appointments to his newly created Artificial Intelligence Task Force. The task force will discuss AI benefits and challenges and issue findings, guidance, and policy recommendations. Tyrah is in the ARC Lounge with the Attorney General this morning. Hey, Tyrah.
Hi, Holly. Attorney General Bob Ferguson, thanks so much for coming into the ARC Lounge.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. A lot of people are talking about AI these days, but what specifically triggered the formation of your AI task force?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this was a bipartisan effort, but really the idea here is to get ahead as a state on the challenges, but also the opportunities that AI presents in our daily lives, in our work, and that's important to get ahead of it. So the goal is to create this task force that can make recommendations to the state legislature on how we can better protect Washingtonians and maximize the benefits of AI.
Who's a part of the task force?
Yeah, it's a group of almost 20 individuals, and we want to do is make sure we had a cross-section. So there's business, there's civil rights folks, there are elected officials, there's public safety leaders. You get the idea, all come together. Folks in the industry, Microsoft's on the task force, for example. So we're bringing together that expertise, as well as groups that will advise the task force as well. But we want to make sure we had a cross-section of stakeholders who had expertise in this area.
So you mentioned that there's some challenges with
yeah.
AI, but there's also some opportunities with AI. Some could be positive, of course.
Absolutely.
Can you identify what some of those challenges and opportunities are?
Sure. So AI, like any technology, can make our lives easier in some ways, can make our work more efficient in some ways, right? That's a positive, and I think most folks understand that. The challenges are numerous. For example, most individuals have no idea that when they're dealing with AI, they don't even realize they are dealing with AI, that whatever is being communicated to them, they don't realize that's AI generated. So from privacy concerns to transparency concerns, you get the idea. There are many challenges that AI presents. And again, the goal here is to maximize the benefits and minimize the challenges.
You talk about privacy concerns, consumer protection. Can you speak more on that and how that correlates with artificial intelligence?
Yeah, you bet. I had an experience once where somebody sent me a message, somebody I knew well, right? A sophisticated person, and it was a weird message. And I wrote back, said, hey, is this you? And they said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, that was an AI-generated message. Well, I had no idea I was communicating with an AI-generated message. Now, it's a small example, but that can be significant in different contexts. AI will be doing all sorts of things. So, for example, if you're applying for a job, if you're applying for housing, it may be an AI-generated platform that's determining whether you get that job or get that housing, and all sorts of biases, for example, can be put in place through AI if not done correctly.
So what will the task force be doing to specifically prevent maybe some of those bad actors from continuing their work? Like you mentioned that I guess it was a scam, the email was a scam. What are they going to be doing to prevent some of that?
Yeah, so the task force, their goal will be to meet with folks. They'll have advice coming into them, but their goal is to make recommendations to the state legislature. So the task force will not make the ultimate decisions. They're going to give guidance to the state legislature to make recommendations on how to better protect consumers, how to better ensure transparency, how to better protect high school students when there's deep fakes using their likeness, which can be, I'm a parent of high school twins, right?
Of course.
That can be deeply concerning. So all those kinds of issues, the idea is to give guidance to the state legislature, who are public servants, have a lot of issues. They're not necessarily experts on AI. We need experts to give some guidance to the state so we can do a better job of protecting Washingtonians and maximizing the benefits of this technology.
Something you just mentioned that caught my attention. A lot of teenagers are on social media. You've been outspoken in your work about teens and social media and mental health. AI is a really big part of that these days. What's your stance on the way artificial intelligence has kind of influenced the way these teens are using social media?
Yeah, speaking now more as a parent, than as an attorney general. You know, the things I worry about for my kids, this is right there at the top of the list, and some of that goes to deep fakes that are, taking images of young people and putting them in a very compromising situation. That's extremely damaging to, of course, anybody, but especially a young person. It also goes into academics, right? Using AI to write your paper instead of creating it yourself. So there's all sorts of challenges that are coming at our kids these days, and wanting to make sure as a state we're trying to get ahead of that and provide some guidance to the legislature to really make sure we're doing all we can on behalf of our kids.
What happens after that guidance is given to the legislature?
Yeah, so the recommendations will be coming about a year from now, and then it goes to the legislature. And then our goal as policymakers is to, hey, take that advice and make some decisions as a state to adopt laws and protections for the people of the state of Washington.
Any other ethical concerns with AI you'd like to mention that the task force has got their eyes on?
Oh my gosh, I mean, there's so numerous, but one that I have a particular interest in is, we think when you apply for a job that humans are determining where they're getting that job, and they're looking at you in a three-dimensional way. Well, more and more there's an effort to move to AI on that, and that can have some challenges. There are all sorts of biases that are in our systems, and if AI captures those, that's spitting out outcomes that can be harmful to all sorts of communities across our state. So again, there's opportunities there, more streamlined processes that can make work more efficient, but that efficiency can come at a cost, and we're trying to avoid that.
If someone has concerns, is there a way that they could, I don't know, reach out to the task force, submit tips, things like that?
Such a great question. I'm so glad you asked. Yes, the task force has their first meeting this summer, I believe. There'll be transparency around that. There are meetings, and we welcome input from the public. In fact, we really depend upon the public to get at some of the issues that individuals are experiencing, or they're experiencing through their kids or through their business. So we welcome feedback for the task force.
Thank you so much, Attorney
Thank
General,
you, Tyrah.
for coming
Appreciate
in.
it.
Holly?
Tyrah, yeah, he really seems to be proactive on this, especially with the task force. I think that's great.
Especially with 2 teenage twins as well. You've got your eyes on that. Yeah, thank you.
It's wonderful. Back in March.